Yeah, have a seat. Have a seat.
Okay, go ahead and turn to page 160. That's where we left off. Really quick, what is the name of their driver? And what do we know is unusual about Archie? There's a bunch of eyes. And we know that what's something special that each one of them are taking with them on their quest? A special item, and what's so special about it? It's magic. And we know that Annabeth has what kind of magic item? And Grover has what? And Percy has his what? Okay. And the last thing we read was what the oracle was trying to tell him in his mind, which was what? You will fail. And he told the oracle to shut up because he's hearing that in his mind, okay? We are starting, they're going to start on 160. I expect everybody to follow along. We're right under that space at the first paragraph.
Alright guys, so I'm Miss Parker. I'm gonna start reading first, and then Miss Billy's gonna transition into reading. So if we switch up, that's all we're doing is taking a break. So we're also gonna go over your vocabulary as we read still. So let's start. The rain kept coming down. We got restless waiting for the bus and decided to place some hacky sack with one of Grover's apples. Annabeth was unbelievable. She could bounce the apple off her knee, her elbow, her shoulder, whatever. I wasn't too bad myself. Do y'all know what hacky sack is?
No.
Yeah, have you ever seen somebody take those little bean bags and they kind of like pop them with their foot or their elbow? I don't think I could do that, but that's what they're doing. The game ended when I tossed the apple toward Grover, and it got too close to his mouth. In one mega goat bite, our hacky sack disappeared, corner, stem, and all. Grover blushed. He tried to apologize, but Annabeth and I were too busy cracking up. Finally, the bus came. As we stood in line to board, Grover started looking around, sniffing the air like he smelled his favorite school cafeteria delicacy, enchiladas. Do y'all like enchiladas? No. Yeah?
No.
I like enchiladas. What is it? I asked. I don't know, he said tensely. Maybe it's nothing, but I could tell it wasn't nothing. I started looking over my shoulder too. I was relieved when we finally got on board and found seats together in the back of the bus. We stowed our backpacks. Annabeth kept slapping her Yankees cap nervously against her thigh. As the last passengers got on, Annabeth clamped her hand on my knee, tersely. An old lady had just boarded the bus. She wore a crumpled velvet dress, lace gloves, and shapeless orange knit hat that shadowed her face. And she carried a big paisley purse. When she tilted her head up, her black eyes glittered, and my heart skipped a beat. It was Mrs. Dodds. Older, more wizard, but definitely the same evil face. So what's our vocabulary? What vocabulary word did we read there? Withered? What does withered mean? So withered is dry and shriveled up. So Mrs. Dodds probably wasn't looking too good, was she?
No.
Too old? I scrunched down in my seat. Behind her came two more old ladies. One in a green hat, one in a purple hat. Otherwise, they looked exactly like Mrs. Dodds. Same gnarled hands, paisley handbags, wrinkled velvet dresses. Triplet demon grandmothers. That's kind of scary, huh? What does gnarled mean? Having many twists and hard times. What is it? So kind of like wrinkly hands, like knotted up hands, you know, like when you work hard. Yeah, like that. They sat in the front row, right behind the driver. The two on the aisle crossed their legs over the walkway, making an X. It was casual enough, but it sent a clear message: nobody leaves. The bus pulled out of the station, and we headed through the slick streets of Manhattan. She didn't stay dead long, I said, trying to keep my voice from quivering. What's quivering mean? Right, so have you ever been nervous and your voice kind of shakes? Yeah. I thought you said they could be dispelled for a lifetime. Let's give y'all time to highlight that word. I said, if you're lucky, Annabeth said, you're obviously not. All three of them, Grover whimpered, dis immortalis. It's okay, Annabeth said, obviously thinking hard. The Furies, the three worst monsters from the underworld. No problem. We'll just slip out the windows. They don't open, Grover moaned. A back exit, she suggested. There wasn't one. Even if there had been, it wouldn't have helped. By the time we were on 9th Avenue, heading for the Lincoln Tunnel. They won't attack us with witnesses around, I said. Will they? Mortals don't have good eyes, Annabeth reminded me. Their brains can only process what they see through the mist. They'll only see three old ladies killing us, won't they? She thought about it. Hard to say, but we can't count on mortals for help. Maybe an emergency exit in the roof? We hit the Lincoln Tunnel, and the bus went dark, except for the running lights on the aisle. It was eerily quiet without the sound of the rain. Mrs. Dodds got up. In a flat voice, as if she rehearsed it, she announced to the whole bus, I need to use the restroom. So do I, said the second sister. So do I, said the third sister. They all started coming down the aisle. I've got it, Annabeth said. Percy, take my hat. What? You're the only one they want. Turn invisible and go up the aisle. Let them pass you. Maybe you can get to the front and get away. But you guys, there's an outside chance they might not notice us, Annabeth said. You're a son of one of the big three. Your smell might be overpowered. I can't just leave you. Don't worry about us, Grover said. Go. So, that's kind of scary, huh? He's got to leave his friends and try to escape. Would you do that, or would you want to stay with your friends? Y'all think he's going to get away? You think they're going to catch him? Yeah, that's true. Alright, well, let's see what happens. My hands trembled. I felt like a coward, but I took the Yankees cap and put it on. When I looked down, my body wasn't there anymore. That's kind of crazy, huh? Can you imagine looking down and not seeing yourself? I started creeping up the aisle. I managed to get up 10 rows, then duck into an empty seat just as the Furies walked past. Mrs. Stodd stopped, sniffing and looking straight at me. My heart was pounding. Apparently she didn't see anything. She and her sisters kept going. I was free. I made it to the front of the bus. We were almost through the Lincoln Tunnel now. I was about to press the emergency stop button when I heard hideous wailing from the back row. The old ladies were not old ladies anymore. Their faces were still the same. I guess those couldn't get any uglier. But their bodies had shriveled into leathery, brown hag bodies with bat's wings and hands and feet like gargoyle claws. So gargoyle, what does gargoyle mean? So that kind of is exactly what they sound like, huh? Gargoyle. Have y'all ever seen those statues at the top of the building, like in movies?
Yeah, they look like dragons.
And they kind of look, they're ugly. Those can also be called gargoyles. So that's why it says the roof of buildings. Their handbags had turned into fiery whips. The Furies surrounded Grover and Annabeth, lashing their whips, hissing, "Where is it? Where?" The other people on the bus were screaming, cowering in their seats. They saw something all right. "He's not here," Annabeth yelled. "He's gone." The Furies raised their whips. Annabeth drew her bronze knife. Grover grabbed a tin can from his snack bag and prepared to throw it.
What I did next was so impulsive and dangerous. I should have been named ADHD poster child of the year. So in that sentence, did we find another highlighted word? Impulsive. Okay, good. What is impulsive? So impulsive, doing things or tending to do things without careful thought.
Have you guys ever done anything impulsive and then you kind of wish you didn't do it later? You didn't think about it?
So the bus driver was distracted, trying to see what was going on in his rearview mirror. Still invisible, I grabbed the wheel from him and jerked it to the left. Everybody howled as they were thrown to the right, and I heard what I hoped was the sound of the 3 Furies smashing against the window. "Hey," the driver yelled. "Hey, whoa!" We wrestled for the wheel. The bus slammed against the side of the tunnel, grinding metal, throwing sparks a mile behind us. We careened out of the Lincoln Tunnel and back into the rainstorm. People and monsters tossed around the bus. Cars plowed aside like bowling pins. Did we find another vocabulary word? What was it? Careen. Okay, what is careen?
To go forward carefully without control.
To go forward carefully without control. Okay. Somehow the driver found an exit. We shot off the highway through half a dozen traffic lights and ended up barreling down one of those New Jersey rural roads. So where you can't believe there's so much nothing right across the river from New York. There were woods to our left, the Hudson River to our right, and the driver seemed to be veering toward the river. Another great idea. I hit the emergency brake. The bus wailed, spun a full circle on the wet asphalt, and crashed into the trees. The emergency lights came on. The door flew open. The bus driver was the first one out. The passengers yelling as they stampeded after him. I stepped into the driver's seat and let them pass. The Furies regained their balance. They lashed their whips at Annabeth while she waved her knife and yelled in ancient Greek, telling them to back off. Grover threw tin cans. I looked at the open doorway. I was free to go, but I couldn't leave my friends. I took off the invisible cap. Hey! The Furies turned, baring their yellow fangs at me, and the exit suddenly seemed like an excellent idea. Mrs. Dodds stalked up the aisle, just as she used to do in class, about to deliver my math test. Every time she flipped her whip, red flames danced along the barbed leather. Her 2 ugly sisters hopped on top of the seats on either side of her and crawled toward me like huge, nasty lizards. "Percy Jackson," Mrs. Dodds said, in an accent that was definitely from somewhere farther than South Georgia. "You have offended the gods. You offended the gods. You shall die." I liked her better as a math teacher, I told her. She growled. Annabeth and Grover moved up behind the Furies cautiously, looking for an opening. I took the ballpoint pen out of my pocket and uncapped it. Riptide elongated into a shimmering double-edged sword. The Furies hesitated. Mrs. Dodds had felt Riptide's blade before. She obviously didn't like seeing it again. "Submit now," she hissed, "and you will not suffer eternal torment." What do y'all think she's gonna do? So if we predict
She's gonna try to kill him.
you think she's gonna kill him?
Try.
Think so? Do you think Percy's going to submit now?
No, he never. She's gonna try.
Let's see.
She's gonna try, but she's gonna fail again.
It's a nice try, I told her. Percy, look out, Annabeth cried. Mrs. Dodds lashed her whip around my sword hand, while the Furies on either side lunged at me. My hand felt like it was wrapped in molten lead, but I managed not to drop Riptide. I stuck the Fury on the left with its hilt, sending her toppling backward into a seat. I turned and sliced the Fury on the right. As soon as the blade connected with her neck, she screamed and exploded into dust. Annabeth got Mrs. Dodds in a wrestling hold and yanked her backwards, while Grover ripped the whip out of her hand. Ow, he yelled. Ow, hot, hot. The Fury, I hilt slammed, came at me, talons ready, but I swung Riptide and she broke open like a piñata. Mrs. Dodds was trying to get Annabeth off her back. She kicked, clawed, hissed, and bit, but Annabeth held on while Grover got Mrs. Dodds' legs tied up in her own whip. Finally, they both shoved backwards into the aisle. Miss Dodds tried to get up, but she didn't have room to flap her bat wings, so she kept falling down. Zeus will destroy you, she promised. Hades will have your soul. Brachus Miss Bessimini, I yelled. I wasn't sure where the Latin came from. I think it meant eat my pants. Yeah, I wasn't sure what it meant either. But that sounds good to me too. So thunder shook the bus. The hair rose on the back of my neck. Get out, Annabeth yelled at me. Now I didn't need any encouragement. We rushed outside and found the other passengers wandering around in a daze, arguing with the driver or running around in circles yelling, "We're going to die." A Hawaiian shirted tourist with a camera snapped my photograph before I could recap my sword. Our bags, Grover realized. We left our... Boom! The windows of the bus exploded as the passengers ran for cover. Lightning shredded a huge crater in the roof, but an angry wail from inside told me Mrs. Dodds was not yet dead. Run, Annabeth said. She's calling for reinforcements. We have to get out of here. We plunged into the woods as rain poured down, the bus in flames behind us, and nothing but darkness ahead.
What do y'all think's gonna happen next?
I think Zeus gonna do something to him. I think Zeus is still gonna try to kill him, and Mrs. Dodds still gonna try to come for him.
It's really good. You just want to keep reading the show.
Maybe it's not.
So we are going to do an activity. I know we talked about the items that they took on the quests that they went. So we are going to pass out our activity.
In our class, our class at ULM, we were actually reading Lightning Page 2. Alright, so on our paper we have 3 columns. We have the invisibility cap, flying shoes, and magic pin and sword. But today we're just going to do the invisibility cap and the magic pin sword. So we're not going to do the flying shoes one.
Okay, so first looking at the invisibility cap. Is everybody ready? Okay. So invisibility cap. So can anybody think or tell me who used it?
And Percy and
Give me a guess. What do you think? Who used the invisibility cat? Annabeth and Percy used it? Okay. So we can write, which one? Do you want to choose Percy? Okay.
Where did Percy use it at?
On the
On the bus. So let's put Percy on the bus.
Percy and
You write Percy on the bus, right? You looking at Jim? Okay. Alright, somebody else, tell me who else used the invisibility cat. Annabeth. So how did Annabeth used it doing what? When did she use it?
is there a time that y'all can think she wanted to be invisible? She might have been disputing with somebody when they were first leaving
Who
town.
was she trying to hide from? Who is it? I'll give you a hint. Starts with an M. What is it? No, that's a good guess. So, what is it? No, that's a good guess. What about Medusa? Do y'all remember? Is
I
that
haven't read it yet.
Oh,
We
okay, y'all
haven't
haven't read it yet.
yet.
Okay, so just do the first one.
Yes,
Okay.
because there's like, they have that to go back to for each chapter.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's just the first one.
So, okay, so we said Percy on the bus, and we have another column, how it's used.
To be invisible. To be invisible, you have to when you put on the hat and when you put on the hat.
It makes you invisible. Yes, that's how the invisibility cat is used. But how did Percy use it?
He just put it on his foot and just
To hide from who? So yes, so Percy snuck past the Furies, right? So that's what we're going to put. So how it's used. So we're going to say Percy snuck past the Furies on the bus. Good job. So Percy snuck. See that? So Percy snuck past the Furies on the bus. Okay, give me a thumbs up when everybody's done.
Okay, so since we haven't read actually for the other magical items, we're gonna, when you get finished, we're gonna go ahead and put this back in your folder because we're gonna use this every time we read about someone using a magical item.
So every time we're reading and we hear a magical item, we're going to remember so that way we can go back and use our organized.
So before you put it up, make sure you put your name and your number on there. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Just wait till y'all over it.
I
Okay, let's back up because in my thought I told them wrong. Get your magic item chart out because has he used the magic pen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so y'all are gonna fill that part out too. That's totally my bad, Liz. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so let's get that out one more time and let's go ahead and fill this in.
So who did use the magic pen? So he used it on the bus too?
So how did he use it? We just read about it. How did he use it?
He uncapped it and used it on the bus. He uncapped it. He used it in the museum. In the museum. And in the bus.
Okay, if you want to share your idea, raise your hand. Because I hear a lot of ideas, but raise your hand and let them call on you.
See, Zion?
He used it in the museum and on the bus.
Okay, do you know who did he use it on?
Just do one.
Miss Dots.
Mrs. Dodds.
At the museum, and when did it happen in the book? The
And
first
the-
at the beginning. Yeah.
So Percy versus Mrs. Dodds.
I thought I heard you.
So we should be filling out the magic pen.
And then we're gonna write that he used it. Yeah, for Mrs. Dark. How did he use it at the beginning versus Mrs. Dark? So Percy tried to use it to swing at her. What happened? You didn't tell me?
Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown, he threw the pin first. He said, take the tip off and then bring to the sword. And then he used it on his dad. And then he turned it to some kind of bird.
Turned into a bird.
Some kind of thing.
Okay, but look at your little box that you've got. Remember what we do when we summarize? So I want you to give her one short sentence summarizing how we use the pen in the museum. Kaylin, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, Percy wanted through the pen at Percy, and Percy uncapped the pen. He was fighting Mrs. Dodds with it, and then after the fight was over, it just turned into a different song.
So Percy threw the pen.
Percy uncapped the pen.
Yes.
Percy uncapped the pen.
So Percy uncapped the pen and it turned into a sword, right?
And it turned into a sword.
didn't get used another time in the book?
With the Minotaur. No, he didn't make it. Yes, he did. He used the
Okay, yeah, he pulled the pin out, but did he use it to kill the Minotaur?
He broke his horn.
He used what to kill the Minotaur?
His horn.
Okay, so think about what y'all just read. Did he use the pin again?
Yeah.
Okay, well done. Somebody.
What? I've got a
So he used it versus Mrs. Dodds again on the bus. But how did he use it this time? To kill Mrs. Dodds? Alright, so we still have Percy versus Mrs. Dodds. So let's start Percy versus Mrs. Dodds again since he used it more than once.
From and of. The O stands for the sound.
And what y'all just read.
And so he used it to kill Mrs. Dodds. So let's write that in the how it's used. It was used to kill Mrs. Dodds.
Yeah, so she didn't die, but he thought he was killed.
Yeah, because what do we know about monsters? They don't really
They
die.
They just go away. Few days or years.
So how could you reword that then? Instead of saying that he killed her,
He just scared her away for a little bit.
okay, he used it to scare her away. Perfect.
So Percy used the magic pin to scare away Mrs. Dodds. It's, I mean, we're on your time. I just wanted to make sure. That's fine. Alright, so whenever you get finished, just go ahead and put your sheet back in your folder.
It's so studying up with the
Anastasia.
Yeah, we're not worried about that.
I'm sorry.
Are you finished? Alright, go ahead and put it back. Alright, so we're just gonna go over some just review questions about the book and talk about those. So what is mist? Can somebody raise their hand and tell me what the mist is? Okay, so what does mist do? So it blinds who? Who does it blind? Mortals, so they can't see what's going on. They don't remember anything. Alright, so what are some of the reasons Annabeth gives for why Poseidon and Athena don't get along?
Because you call Poseidon cheap.
Alright, let's raise our hands. Can you tell me?
Because their father and mom don't get along.
Because their parents don't get along? Alright, is there another reason? Can you tell me?
You call Poseidon and gave her another girl.
What was it?
You call Poseidon.
I just couldn't hear you.
It said in the book that he called Poseidon and gave her a girl.
Oh, wow.
I'm not.
That's right. Who caught Poseidon?
Athena.
Okay, so Athena caught Poseidon, and so why does that make
Because it's
them-
disrespectful.
Okay.
cheating.
Okay, good.
Alright, you have another one? Alright.
Oh, they named the city after. They named it the city after.
So it was jealous? Poseidon got jealous that they named a city after Athena and not him?
Because of the olive tree.
Okay.
So according to Grover, why did Percy's mom marry Gabe? Have a lot. They needed to protect him. Percy, okay. So they needed to protect Percy. Percy, can you tell me?
Sally married Gabe because she didn't want the monkey to kill Percy did.
Okay. So again, to save Percy.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Percy said he's not going on the quest to retrieve the lightning bolt. What's his real reason for going? So if he's not going to retrieve the lightning bolt, what's his real reason? Let's see. He's going to Hades to save his mother, so that's his real reason. Good job.
Alright, how does Percy sneak to the front of the bus? Somebody that has not answered all the directions. Has everybody got an answer? So, because he had the invisibility cap on, so we just read that, right? So Percy sneaks to the front of the bus because he's invisible. How many of y'all would like to have an invisibility cap? I think I would. I would like to be invisible. You could what? You could sneak out of class so we noticed you were gone. Alright, why doesn't Percy leave the bus when he has the chance? Right, you guys hear me? Why doesn't Percy leave the bus when he has the chance?
He didn't want to leave his friend.
He didn't want to leave his friends, right? What made him turn around?
He heard yelling.
He heard yelling, Yeah. So what would y'all do the same thing that Percy did, or would y'all run? How many people would stay like Percy did? And how many people would run away? Alright, well we have one more question.
So how did Percy, Grover, and Annabeth lose their luggage? Okay, the bus blew up. They really couldn't get their luggage after that, huh? No, the bus blew up and they lost their luggage. Percy, Grover, and Annabeth.
Have you ever lost y'all's luggage? If you go on vacation?
I never lost.
Alright, well, real quick, we're going to review your vocabulary words. So if y'all want to look over here, we're just going to say all of them. And then we're going to go over the ones that we read today. So, want to say I'm hyperventilating,
hyperventilating,
celestial,
celestial,
vulnerable,
vulnerable,
obscures,
obscures,
interpret,
interpret,
misnomer,
misnomer,
propaganda,
propaganda,
melancholy,
melancholy,
Endure,
endear,
withered,
weathered,
gnarled,
gnarled,
quivering,
quivering,
gargoyle,
gargoyle,
impulsive,
impulsive,
careened,
careened,
faltered,
faltered,
petrified,
petrified,
impertinent.
impertinent.
Good job.
So, what does withered mean? If, say, I said a flower was withered, what does that mean? It's dried up, shriveled up.
You just learned them. If you need to look, you can.
Dried or shriveled. Alright, what about gnarled? Having any twisted or not? Can y'all think of anything that would be gnarled? Old people. Shoelace. Good. Alright, quivering. What is quivering?
To shake because of fear, all are nervous.
Have you guys ever quivered?
Yes.
Have you ever had to go on stage and you're really nervous?
Oh yeah. And awards that.
Gargoyle.
Oh yeah. It's like
Yeah, a strange and ugly human or animal figure that sticks out from the roof of buildings. So impulsive. What about impulsive?
doing things that tend to do
We've probably all done something very impulsive, right?
Excited, you don't really think about it.
Without careful thought. Okay, and careen. So that was the last word we were able to highlight
to
today.
go forward quickly without control.
To go forward quickly without control.
So it said that he careened the bus, I think is what it said. So that sounds kind of dangerous, right? To drive, you're just going really fast, not very careful. So that wouldn't be a good thing to do with it. All right, we have to put those back up.
We give him a huge thanks.
Thank y'all very much. Y'all were awesome.
Yes, thank y'all for listening and participating and being engaged. You never know that, because they'll be graduating soon from ULM, and so you don't know, maybe you'll have them one day as a teacher in your upper grades or whatever. So, great first impression.
We love it to teach y'all and work with y'all because we've been working with just like first grade. So we've had the babies, so it's nice to be with y'all and it's really fun. So thank y'all.
No, that was filling up all. That's what you're not. Relied on them to